There are moments in life when the storm doesn't come from the skies, but from within, a sudden wave of disappointment, a quiet sadness creeping in, a heart clenched with anger or anxiety. We've all been there, caught in the invisible struggle between our better nature and our emotional pain. But what if I told you that pain is not your enemy, that buried within your negative emotions are the seeds of awakening? Today, we embark on a sacred journey, 1 hour of quiet reflection, Buddhist wisdom, and emotional healing. This isn't just a teaching, it is a call to come home, to your own heart. Stay with me. This lesson may be the most important one you hear all week. 1. Understanding the voice of our emotions. According to Buddhist thought, emotions are not intruders to be exiled. They are messengers. Each one, even the painful ones, is a sacred whisper from our soul asking to be understood. Disappointment arises when reality doesn't meet our expectations. Anger bursts forth when our sense of justice is shaken. Anxiety enters when we resist what we cannot control. But the Buddha taught suffering begins not from these emotions, but from our clinging to them or our aversion to them. You see, when we grasp at joy or push away sorrow, we create a battle within ourselves. Buddhism invites us to observe our emotions, not react to them, to pause, to see clearly. This is the first step toward emotional freedom. 2. The root of all turmoil, attachment and aversion. In Buddhist philosophy, there are two roots to most suffering, attachment and aversion. We cling to what we want. We reject what we don't want. But life does not yield to desire. It flows according to its own nature. When we attach to an ideal, be it success, love, or security, we suffer when that ideal isn't met. When we reject reality, be it aging, loss, or change, we suffer because we refuse to embrace what already is. The Buddha didn't ask us to suppress our feelings. He asked us to go deeper, to trace the emotion back to its root, to understand the soil in which it grew. Through this lens, anger is no longer a wildfire. It's a signal of unmet needs or wounded expectations. And in that understanding, we can choose to respond instead of react. 3. Mindfulness, the gentle guardian. Within, one of the most profound tools the Buddha gave us is mindfulness, the art of being completely present with what is. When you sit with your breath, when you feel your sadness without drowning in it, when you acknowledge your anger without becoming it, that is mindfulness. It's not about fixing emotions. It's about seeing clearly, without judgment. You might ask, how do I begin? Start here. When you feel a strong emotion, breathe. Inhale. This is anger. Exhale. I see you. No suppression, no dramatization, just presence. And in that presence, the emotion often begins to soften. 4. Self-compassion, the medicine for emotional wounds. Too often, we add a second layer of suffering to our pain. We judge ourselves for having it. We say, I shouldn't feel this way, or I'm too weak. But the Buddha never condemned emotions. He simply taught us how to hold them with wisdom. Imagine holding a crying child. Would you yell at them, or would you wrap them in your arms? Your pain deserves the same kindness. Self-compassion is the silent revolution of spiritual practice. It says, even in my anger, I am worthy of love. Even in my anxiety, I deserve peace. From this soil of self-kindness, healing blooms. 5. Letting go, the sacred art of emotional release. One of the most well-known Buddhist analogies comes from the Buddha himself. Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You're the one who gets burned. To let go is not weakness, it is an act of spiritual strength. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means freeing yourself from carrying the weight of it. When you forgive, you're not saying what happened was okay. You are saying, I choose peace over poison. I choose healing over hatred. The power to let go lives within you. 6. The practice of meditation, training the mind to rest. When emotions surge like waves, meditation becomes the shore. It is not escapism. It is the sacred act of sitting with ourselves, gently, honestly, patiently. In mindfulness meditation, we watch the breath. In loving kindness meditation, we send warmth to ourselves and to others, even those who hurt us. In vipassana, we observe thoughts arise and fall like clouds passing through a sky that is never disturbed. Through meditation, we don't erase emotions. We outgrow their power to control us. We become aware, and in awareness, 7, we return to living in the present moment, a refuge from emotional storms. The past is a memory. The future is a projection. Only the present is real. Buddha taught that suffering is born from craving what isn't here, grasping the past, fearing the future. But if we anchor ourselves in the now, we find stillness. Try this. When sadness visits, don't run. Sit down. Feel your breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Hear the sounds around you. This moment, however imperfect, is your home. And in that home, no emotion is too big. No pain is too sharp. There is space for it all. 8. A story from the Buddhist path. Letting go of what we carry. 2 monks walk in silence. They come across a woman struggling to cross a river. One monk lifts her, carries her across, and sets her down. Hours later, the younger monk is still upset. Why did you carry her? We are not supposed to touch women. The elder monk replies, I put her down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her? We too carry things long after the moment has passed. Anger, guilt, regret. The event is over, but we replay it endlessly in our minds. Let this story be your mirror. What are you still carrying that you could lay down? 9. Gratitude, the antidote to negativity. Buddhism teaches that the mind trained to see what is good becomes good. When we shift focus from what we lack to what we have, our suffering diminishes. The warmth of sunlight, the taste of tea, the kindness of a stranger. Gratitude is not denial of pain. It is the widening of perspective. And in that widening, the weight of negative emotions grows lighter. Try this. At the end of each day, write down 3 things that brought you peace, even if small. Gratitude, practiced daily, becomes the path back to joy. 10. Conclusion. Embracing emotions as gateways to wisdom. What if your anxiety was asking you to slow down? What if your anger was showing you where your boundaries are? What if your sadness was pointing to something sacred that needs healing? The Buddha never promised a life without emotion, but he offered a path to walk through it with awareness, compassion, and freedom. This is not just philosophy, it is practice. Day by day, breath by breath, moment by moment. You don't have to run from your pain. You only need to meet it with love. Because within every negative emotion lies a hidden blessing, an invitation to awaken. If this journey moved your heart, we invite you to continue walking with us. Subscribe to this channel, and together, let's explore more teachings that nourish the soul and uplift the mind. May your heart be light, may your mind be free, and may each step you take bring you closer to peace. Thank you for being here.